It's December 13th. We're going west, young man, to hit some oil tankers off the coast of the US, or maybe in the Gulf of Mexico. Something
Schiff
spotted.
gesichtet. Lage
Oh,
338. Große Entfernung.
hello, sir. What are you seeing? 'Cause I sure as heck don't see it. But 10 kilometers out, relative bearing 338. Call it 250 degrees, 10 kilometers. Something about there. And could be closer, could be further. Draw a little circle like that. But what is actually out there?
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Oh, there's something smoky looking. It says tanker on my notepad. Uh, is it alone is the question. I might see a shadow behind it. A quick weather check.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Okay, 7 meters per second. Good to know. Now, I'm pretty sure there's something behind it, but I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just seeing things. We're gonna go down to periscope depth and take a listen. But if it's a... no, there's definitely a smoke trail behind. Okay, let's get down and listen.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Auf Seerotiefe gehen.
It's now December 17th, 4 days out. Usually I don't see much in transit across the Atlantic at all. So this is a little gift. Wow, it is taking us a long time to get under. Like, we're still on the... okay, we're under.
Derzeitige Tiefe 1-0.
How fast do tankers usually travel? 9, 10, 11 knots? Leave it there for now. Let's take a listen on the hydrophones.
Kontakt, Frachter, kommt näher auf 337, große Entfernung.
Moving very fast, hey? Okay, I'll leave it there. Don't hear any warships. I might hear 3. It looks like they're coming right for us, too. Maybe it's just 2. Anyway, now the Americans are fair game. Surely, right? Yeah, everything's in red. It's December 17th, so we are at war with them. If these are American tankers, I mean, there's no lights on, so they should be valid targets. I'll try to ID them a little bit better here. I guess we might as well stay at periscope depth. I don't want to get spotted. I don't know if they're armed or not. We have our forward tubes are just electrics, which means they only have a range of 3 kilometers in 1LX GWX, so that's not a lot of range, plus they travel really slow. If these guys are going 14, 16 knots, it could be a bit of a challenge to hit them, but the silver lining is they seem to be coming toward us, so it shouldn't be that hard to hit. Debating whether or not it's one of these Kawasaki class oilers. I'm not that familiar with One Alex's. There's a whole lot more merchants and tankers than is in base GWX, and certainly more than the vanilla game. So IDing some of these tankers and merchants is a bit of a challenge. Looks like we have one back funnel, something kind of obvious looking on the forward superstructure, and maybe 2 main masts. Plus I see something angled coming out forward toward the bow, so it could maybe be this. It could also just No, I think the funnel's too thin to be a small tanker. How about this? No, that is too mass, but there's some sort of like third pull on the superstructure, it looks like. Could be this. Yeah, it definitely could be this T2 MCK whatever tanker. Now that looks like a juicy one. Although I don't see anything angled coming off the bow like I see the real image there. And then I don't know what's trailing behind either. No, I've seen enough of these types of tankers to know it's not that. Nope. No, there's kind of like a rake at the top. So whatever's on top of the superstructure, there should be a rake. And that's the end of the tanker. So I'd say the only possible options would be not this. Would be this. This is one option for sure. The MCK tanker, big boy, over 10,000 tons. Or let me look at this. This doesn't even, no, it's not the Kawasaki. So I'm gonna ID it as, I don't think it's a Cimarron thing. This is what we're gonna put in. Let's do a range check and see if we can get anything meaningful at this range here. I don't know, is it that? 5K at 339. Let's see what the estimated course looks like. 250, 251, 5K. Yeah, coming right for us. Mark, and I'll give it a bit of a circle. I don't know exactly where he's at there. So, could be a course of about 62 degrees. Let's turn roughly perpendicular to that. We need to face 332, course 332 degrees,
Jawohl,
and
Herr
we
Kaloin. Neuer
probably
Kurs,
need to
3,
back
3,
up.
1.
We're within 600 meters of their projected course here. Now, as for what's behind, well, we might as well shoot at both of them. Then again, I do want to save as much ordnance as possible for bigger tankers. I want to be efficient this patrol. Like, we've got 20, what is it, 22 torpedoes? I don't know. But if we could spend 1 or 2 torpedoes per 10,000 ton tanker, this could be like over 100,000 ton patrol. Wishful thinking, but it could happen. So we'll see what we have in the back. I'm probably going to fire 2 at that front guy for sure. And we'll see if the secondary is even worth shooting at. If the guy in the back is unarmed, we'll just use the deck gun. I am in the Type 9C, so we've got a little bit more range, and we've got a 105 millimeter cannon, which can make short work of tankers. Now, the draft of this thing is apparently 8 meters, and the wind speed when we were surfaced was 7 meters per second. So according to this, apparently, from what I've been told, we have to set our depth, our torpedo depth, to basically lower than 3 meters if we don't have want to have depth keeping issues with these T2s. And these are the dudful T2s. These are not T3s that you get. I think you start using T3s. Is it 1942? So we might just be a month away from T3s versus T2s, but we could certainly have dud issues with these bad boys. And I'm just going to set the depth to 9 meters and go magnetic pistol. Maybe on the second shot, we'll go impact at about 5.5 meters, just so one will like be magnetic under keel, and then if we do actually have dud issues, like if it goes right under, one will just impact. So we'll do one of each. I'm gonna set tube 1 to magnetic, depth of 9 meters. Not too much bobbing around in this weather, so that's magnetic. And tube 2 impact, we'll set it to 5.5, should hit low enough to hopefully detonate some fuel or crude oil or whatever, I don't know. That's gotta be this thing, right? I really hope so. And that guy in the back is also a tanker. Not sure on the flag yet. We're moving in reverse. I'm just gonna fire tubes 1 and 2, and then that thing in the back, I'm not even gonna try to ID. I don't really care about getting the magnetic just to the right depth. But this guy's getting close really quick, so let's take another range check. We'll get a better idea of his course. And pretty soon we'll try to determine speed. Okay, 2,600 meters. 284-ish. 26. 284. Part of the British Empire for sure. Do I see guns? I don't. I see spotlights. There might be something aft. There looks like there's a it looks like there's a gun on the back of that tanker in the rear there, unfortunately. I'm gonna attempt a speed check. We're not stopped yet, but we might as well get as close as we can. The length is 160 meters. Double that and divide it by speed, roughly. Or the time it takes to cross our vertical, which is less than 22 seconds. Could be 14 knots, could be 15. Take one more. Do I see any guns? I don't think I do. Could get away with just one torpedo. And if the torpedo fails deck gun, I'm just a little worried about his friend being armed. Okay, 22 seconds, that's 14 knots, close enough. Let's get ready to fire these babies off. Okay, so actually the first tube is gonna be, honestly it should be impact. I think he's a little further than 700 meters away. Let's go.
Rohr 2.
Rohr 2.
Aal ist im Wasser. Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Kleine Fahrt voraus.
And tube 1, the magnetic, is going to be a little bit forward.
Rohr 1. Aal ist im Wasser.
Don't see a gun on the back, that's good. This guy, that is 100% a gun aft. Can I tell what that is? I think so. 3 masts and kind of 2 triangles going backwards. I can have a look real quick here, but let's just watch this. Please hit. Oh. Is he that much further away than we thought? Okay, I don't know which one hit and which one didn't. I'm guessing we had a depth keeping issue with one of the tubes because or or maybe he was going like 16 knots and we just went behind him. I'm gonna keep my speed setting the same, and I'm gonna hit this guy with a magnetic electric torpedo. So let's see what that is because I am gonna need to know the draft of this thing. It's back a ways. So we've got, it's not that, it's this, intermediate tanker 6.9 meter draft. Yeah, that's definitely what it is. So tube 3, magnetic, will go just under 8 meter depth. I wonder if I need two, because we're not gonna get to surface and gun this thing down. The first one we can if he loses speed, but this one like we actually want to sink because he's armed. So I think I'll fire two. Call me crazy.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Put us
Kleine
into
Fahrt zurück.
reverse. I just want to know where this guy is. Yeah, there goes our miss. Guy's still going. Huh. Why can't I hear his engine or screws turning? Very bizarre. Just getting an unknown sound contact there. Now, since I'm gonna fire two, I'm gonna put the second torpedo to impact pistol a little under 4 meters. Yeah, so we know the one torpedo didn't just bottom out, like it didn't ding off the bottom of the hull and sink. It would have exploded and we can still hear it running. So that is almost certainly a depth keeping issue. And with 7 meter per second winds, like our torpedoes were quite deep. We shouldn't have that issue. I don't know how to get around that. Maybe it's like as the game goes on, torpedoes get better and that stops happening as much, but to this day, I still have not figured out why my torpedoes run deep. I know, like, I'm not an idiot.
Kontakt,
Oh,
Frachter. Entfernung gleich
and
null.
that
Auf 3, 4,
you just
8.
need to
Große
plan
Entfernung.
accordingly with the wind speed. Like, I get it. I've read that 1,000 times. But okay, I'm gonna fire this one forward,
Rot
and
1.
it really doesn't
Fahrt
seem
ist
to.
los.
Hi there. You're hearing this because that's about where my game crashed, and I've been having crashing issues with this game. I know I haven't posted anything in, well, I think years, and I wanted to make sure that like if I was going to post again, the audio quality would be a bit better and the video quality. I've spruced a couple things up, but this mic I'm still not entirely sure about. But anyway, I hope it comes out pretty good on YouTube. I'm basically gonna have to restart this patrol, unfortunately, but I might post some new ones in the future if I ever get free time from work. Um, I'm pretty busy with life in general lately. I know people aren't concerned with that, but that's just the reality of it. Not a lot of free time, but I might post more in the future. So I hope the quality was better here, and have a great January.